Hello there guys, Mr. Missing in Action back with another video. It's been a few days since my last video. I've been looking for some inspiration in terms of video content ideas. And I've come up with one. I think it might be a mistake, but we are actually in a ×10 summon event at the minute. Let me show you in the portal. At the moment we have an opportunity to acquire block revive champions. Block revive is a great skill actually. It's most useful in the arena as well as ice golem. In the arena you find that a lot of the teams that you go up against will have a reviver of some type, and with the block revive skill, when you kill an enemy champion, it's impossible for that champion to be revived. It also works incredibly well, as I say, in the ice golem on the ads, the two guys either side of the ice golem itself, where they are constantly reviving, and if you were to kill one of those with one of these block revive champions here, then they're not coming back. So it can make ice golem so much easier. Anyway, so yeah, basically we've got 4 legendaries. These are available from Ancient Shards. We have 3 epics. We do have a Void and a Neathwy Blood Twin available from Void Shards, but at the minute I only have Ancient Shards. I have 18 of them, and I'm really hoping to pull Foley. Foley would be the dream pull here. That would make my day. It would make this video. If I wasn't to get Foley, I'd accept Xavier, of course. And when it comes to the epics, I'd really like to get hold of Fenax. Fenax probably has the hardest, or one of the hardest hitting A1s in the entire game. I've seen this guy do sort of 100k plus damage. So I'd quite happily take a Phoenix or a Fenax. Not sure how to pronounce it. Anyway, I think I'm making a mistake actually, guys. Because I believe that the ×2 event on the Ancient Shards is coming in just a week. However, I would love to get my hands on a Foley, and I'm feeling kind of lucky. And it gives me an opportunity really to talk you through each of the champions as I pull them. I've got these 18 shards. I've got just enough silver to do it. I've got space in my champions list. We do have a champion chase tournament going on at the same time, so I can get a few extra rewards in there. So, guys, I think I'm making a mistake, but I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for the YouTube channel. Here we go. Let's go and pull my ancient shards. So here we go. I'm going to pull them one at a time, and we'll quickly talk through each of the champions as I pull them. So, I think it's a mistake, guys. I really do. But here we go with the first one. What have we got? It's a rare. And we've got Ghoulish Ranger. Ghoulish Ranger. This is not a guy I'm familiar with. So let's take a quick look at his skills. On the A1, we've got attack one enemy, 35% chance to place a 25% decrease accuracy debuff. It's a bit meh. When it's ascended, it also places an extra hit if the target is actually under a decrease accuracy debuff. So let's take a look at his other skills, see if there's any kind of synergy there. Again, 1 attack on the A2, 45% chance, can be booked up to 60 of placing the leech debuff. Okay, that's kind of nice. With the leech debuff, every time that one of your champions attacks the enemy champion that's under the leech debuff, they will basically pull some of their HP away from them. So it kind of works like a healing mechanic. So it's not bad, but it is only on the one opponent. Let's take a look at the A3. Attacks 3 times at random, with a 30% chance, booked up to 50 of placing a HP burn debuff for 2 turns. I would have really liked it to have been AoE. He would have had some definite utility in Spider there. But okay, there's our first one, Ghoulish Ranger. On to the second one, guys. Here we go. What have we got here? I really want to see some yellow, some gold. Okay, Guardian. I've got this guy already. This is a good champion, actually. One of my sleeper rares, if you take a look at that video. On the A1, we've got a single attack with a 50% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns. So this is actually really solid. He attacks the one enemy, but then he has a solid chance, booked up to 65%, 2 in 3, of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns. Now, most of the buffs on the enemies are only going to run for around 2 turns anyway, so it's kind of a complete buff cleanse on the opponents. This is a great champion, however, it is a dupe for me. On the A2, attacks 4 times at random, with each hit having a 30% chance of applying block buffs. You can book that up to 35. Block buffs is going to prevent the opponents from actually being able to place buffs for 2 turns. It is at random. It would have been nice if it was AoE. On the A3, we have a block debuffs buff and a counter-attack buff on this champion for 2 turns, and also a 15% continuous heal. This guy is actually pretty good. He's a solid sleeper rare. We have an aura unlocked at Ascension level 3, increasing ally HP in dungeons by 27%. It is a solid rare, however, like I say, a dupe for me. Here we go. Let's see if I can get a bit better luck. Here we go with the third one. We've got some purple guys. It's an epic. And I've got Luria. Yes. I've got one of the block revive champs here. Let's talk you through Luria. She's a great champ. That's made me happy, guys. That's made me happy. On the A1, we've got a single attack, 50% chance of placing the weak form of decreased defense, or a 50% heal reduction debuff, or a 15% decreased speed debuff. So it's kind of a lot of RNG in there. You can't rely on any of these, but it's a really solid A1. Well, if you take a look when we ascend it, all of these weak forms go up to the strong forms, so that's solid, liking that as an A1. On the A2, attack all enemies, 50% chance of placing the freeze debuff for a turn, and enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. So this is the key skill here on Luria, Mark of Fear. There are not many champions actually with an AoE freeze, and this is a really solid chance. It can be booked up to 75%. I'm really happy with this one, guys. Yeah, I'm chuffed. On the A3, attack 1 enemy, remove all buffs. Also has an 80% chance of placing the block buffs. So Luria for sure is an arena champion. I'm quite excited to give her a go. Yeah, really happy with that one, guys. That's kind of made it worthwhile, but let's see what else we can get. Let's go with the fourth one. It's a rare again. And we've got Totem. Nothing special here in Totem. She's an orc. Let's take a look. Single attack on the A1. 20% chance of placing the weak form of poison. That's okay. A2, attack 1 enemy again, 50% chance of removing a random buff from the target. So this could work in the early magic keep. When ascended, what happens? Yeah, we place a continuous heal on this champion for 2 turns if she removes the buff. On the A3, we have the AoE with a placing of a 30% decreased defense debuff on the target. So we don't have to worry about weak hits there, however it is the weak form. Yeah, she's food for me, but let's see how we get on. Luria's kind of made it worthwhile for me. Let's see what else we get. It's another rare, and we've got Skullsworn. Skullsworn is a farmable rare. You can acquire Skullsworn from stage 2, I believe it is, of the campaign. Now, if I remember rightly, I actually need this guy to go towards my Raz infusion, so I'm not going to complain. I haven't really pulled one yet. On the A1, attack 1 enemy 2 times, 20% chance of placing the extra hit. On the A2, we have place increased speed and counter attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. On a 7-turn cooldown, can get it down to 4. We have a passive, filling the champion's turn meter by 15% on critical hits. And it fills his champion's turn meter by 50% if the champion kills an enemy. Also, we have an aura here in ally speed in faction crypts. So really, this guy, you're only going to use him in faction crypts. If you have Skull-Lord Vargal, then the 2 of them pair up reasonably well, but both of them are only going to be faction crypt champions. But yeah, I need this guy for my Raz infusion. Okay, here we go. Let's go with the next one. Fingers crossed, I really want some gold, guys. What have we got? There's a lag. It's another epic. And we've got Grizzled Jarl. Grizzled Jarl is a really solid dwarf epic, actually. Let's go through his skills. On the A1, single attack, 35% chance of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff. On the A2, we place a block debuffs buff on all allies for a turn. That's really solid. And places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. This guy could be great in the arena if you have a defense nuker. You're going to push the defense up dramatically. The block debuffs is great in the arena as well. So solid champion again, this one. On the A3, we've got an AoE attack. 75% chance of placing the strong form of decrease attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. When ascended, also decreases each target's max HP by 30%. That's kind of a nothing skill, this decreasing of enemy max HP. It's not great, but on the whole, really, really solid epic. Yeah, might get some play in the 3v3 arena, actually, when I build a defense team. Yeah, solid epic. Pretty happy with that one. On to the next one. Here we go. What have we got? It's another rare. Bombardier. Bombardier is, well, he's a Bannerlord and they're notoriously bad, but let's take a look. Straightforward attack one enemy on the A1. When ascended, 5% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs by a turn. On the A2, single attack. Places the strong form of increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns if the attack is critical, so you want to build his crit rate up. On the A3, triple attack on one enemy. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing the weak form of poison. Really doesn't kind of have much of a place in the game. This one is food for me, guys. And there is an aura, but it's nothing special. Ally crit rate in all battles. The weakest of the auras, actually. So absolutely food, this one. But let's keep going. I've still got 11. Here we go. I really want some gold, please. It's another rare. Lamela, Sacred Order. Let's have a quick look at him. On the A1, single attack. Very small chance of placing decreased defense for 2 turns. It's okay for an A1. He's a HP-based champion. The damage is based on HP. On the A2, we've got the AoE. When ascended, also places decrease attack debuff for 2 turns on all of them. 25%, so that's pretty solid. And we have a passive, decreases the damage taken by this champion by 30% when his HP drops below 30. So it makes him a little bit more survivable. An aura, HP and faction crypts. Nothing special about this one, guys, but I'm really happy with my Luria. Let's see if I can get my Foley, actually. Here we go. Or my Fenax. Let's see the gold. Come on. Another rare. RS, another farmable rare, guys. Interesting skill set. On the first A1, attacks one enemy, grants an extra turn if the target is killed. So this is kind of Relic Keeper or Hoarding style. On the A2, this is nice. Removes a random debuff from all allies. This is kind of a debuff cleanse. On a 3 turn, with a 60% chance of placing the weak form of increased speed for 2 turns. When you ascend it, you get the big form of increased speed. And this is nice because you can book this 60% up to 100. A solid farmable rare, actually. And on the passive, the counter attack when an ally is attacked. Now this only works on the first attack on an ally. She's not going to counter attack every time one of your allies is attacked, otherwise this is just going to be too OP. But she's a really solid farmable rare. Comes with an aura, ally speed in dungeons. Speed is a great aura to have. It's not the best, but if you've got nobody else to work with in the dungeons, RS can come in as your speed lead here. So she's pretty good in that respect. Okay, we're going to take a quick break before I pull my next 9. We've pulled 9 so far, 9 more to come. Keep those fingers crossed for me, guys. I really do want that Foley or I'll take the Fenax, okay? Back in a second. Okay then, guys, welcome back. We've still got 9 ancient shards to pull. I'm praying for a legendary, I'm praying for Foley. I really want to see that gold. But before I pull these 9 shards, a quick shout out. Please hit the subscribe button. Please like. Please leave a comment. Leave a comment down in the comments section below. Tell me what you've pulled in this 10 times summon event. I'd be really interested to know if you've got my Foley. I'm hoping to get my Foley in the next 9. But here we go. Let's go with the next one. Let's take a look. Fingers crossed on this one, guys. I really do want that Foley. It's another rare. And it's Madman. Madman is a Spirit Affinity Dwarf. He's an attack-based champion. Let's have a look at the skills on Madman. A1 is a single attack. Nothing special there. But when ascended, we get a 50% chance of attacking all other enemies with a second hit, dealing 30% of the damage inflicted from the first hit. It's like a really weak AoE, actually. Nothing special, but it's kind of an AoE on the A1, but you're not going to be doing anywhere near as much damage as you will on the single target that you select. On the A2, we have an AoE. He could potentially be a farmer, actually. Attacks all enemies, and when he does that, he heals himself by 10% of the damage inflicted if his current HP is below 50%. So that gives him some resilience, hence the name Insane Resilience. He can pull himself back from the brink with that, I guess. And on the A3, single attack, ignores 30% of the target's defense, also ignores block damage and shield buffs. So that's really nice. If the damage multipliers on that are solid, that could be a single target nuke. I'd be interested to find out if that's the case. Maybe I'll take a look at this guy in the future. But let's move on, guys. It's not gold. Where's that gold? Where's that gold? Another rare. Skink, one of the lizard men, attack-based champion. Let's take a look. We've got on the A1, single attack, ignores block damage and shield buffs. So again, similar to Madman. Hopefully the damage multipliers on that are pretty hard. If they are, please let me know in the comments below if you've built this guy up. On the A2, single attack again, 50% chance of placing the weak form of decreased defense for 2 turns. It's on a 4 turn, down to 3 turns when booked. When ascended, we also have a placing of a 50% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns, if the target has a decreased defense debuff. So we've got a condition there. I never like conditions on champions, but that could potentially make him work in a number of places, such as the Spirit Keep. A3, single attack again. The hit is critical if the target has a heal reduction debuff. So we've got a bit of synergy going on here in the kit. I guess he has some potential. On the aura, one of the weakest forms of auras actually, only increases magic ally attack in all battles by 30%. That is solid, but only on magic allies. Okay, here we go then, guys. 7 more. It's another rare. Oh, it's Galek, one of the starter champions. I don't actually have this guy. I pulled Kale. I do have Aethel sitting in my vault. Galek, yeah, we all know about Galek, but real quick, on the A1, attacks one enemy 2 times. On the A2, Hellraiser attacks all enemies, so an AoE, places 30% increased speed buff on himself. When ascended, also has the extra 15% chance of inflicting the critical hit. You find this on all of the starter champions. I believe Hellraiser is one of the harder hitting AoEs on the 4 starters though. And on the A3, attacks 4 times at random, 30% chance of placing the weak form of decreased defense, and a 30% chance of placing the strong form of decreased defense if the target has more than 2 debuffs. So really you want to take this guy, you want him to follow your debuffer in the arena actually. Yeah, but in the arena you're probably going with a decreased defense debuffer anyway. So yeah, for me the weakest of the 4 starters, and the standard aura that all starters have, increasing of ally HP in all battles by 15%. Anyway, I don't have him. It gives me some potential if I pull a lay-in to produce a video comparing the 4 starter champions actually. Let's see what we get next. Where's the gold? Where's my Foley? It's another rare. Perforator, actually. One of the only rare dwarfs that I don't actually have. I believe this guy can actually hit pretty hard. On the A1, single attack, 30% chance of placing the strong form of poison. So if you have no other poisoners, it can be buffed up to 50, booked up to 50. It's got some potential if you're struggling for another poisoner in the clan boss. A2, single attack again, ignores 50% of the target's defense. Also grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. So this could be pretty interesting. Yeah, and then he'd follow with his poison actually. What have we got in the passive? 35% chance of placing a fear debuff on the target for 1 turn when this champion inflicts a critical hit. Now that is interesting. Fear is a great debuff, particularly in the arena. It's a control mechanic. It's a solid passive, that, actually. I'm pretty happy to get this guy. I think I will probably build him up for my faction crypt team, though, actually. 5 more. 5 more chances at the gold. Another rare. Crimson Slayer. I already have Crimson Slayer. She is sat in my vault. I'm considering making a video on this champion anyway. On the A1, we have attack 3 times at random. Each hit having a 30% chance of placing sleep debuff. Sleep is the weakest of the crowd controls, but we have a 3 times at random. That's going to work great in Fire Knight, actually, for the shield. On the A2, single attack, 50% chance of decreasing the turn meter by 50%. So again, this is a skill that's built for the Fire Knight, and actually fills the champion's turn meter equal to the amount the target loses. When you ascend it, jumps up to 70%. When you book it, jumps up to 100%. However, I do know from other videos that Crimson Slayer's AI is actually broken. So if you are going to use her in the Fire Knight, you do actually have to manual the Fire Knight in order for her to use this A2. On the A3, Copious Bleed, AoE attack, with an 80% chance of placing the heal reduction debuff. So heal reduction is great for, there's the sleep. Heal reduction is great for the Fire Knight, who will heal himself back up. Yeah, built for Fire Knight, but the AI is broken, guys, so you do need to manual with her. Ally attack in faction crypt, 17%. I'm probably going to build up one of my Crimson Slayers. This one will be food or held in the vault for future fusion. 4 more, here we go. Please, please, another rare. Magus, that's another Night Revenant rare that I don't have, actually. On the A1, single attack, small chance of placing the stun. Stun is solid. We can book that up to 50. On the A2, 75% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. She could work in a poison team. On the A3, attacks all enemies, then heals herself. The amount she heals is equal to the damage inflicted. Her damage is based on attack. So you'd need to build her up with high crit rate, high crit damage, in order to maximise this. It can be booked down to 4 turns on the cooldown as well. Okay, we've got a really good aura here, actually, if you haven't got your high Katoon yet. Ally speed in arena battles by 16%. So if you are in the first 30 days and you haven't got a high Katoon yet, then Magus can make a perfectly solid speed lead in the arena. Okay, here we go then. 3 more, guys. 3 more chances. Where is Foley? Where is Foley? Not here, it's a rare. Bloodbraid. Let's take a look at Bloodbraid. She's a HP-based barbarian. Let's take a look. On the A1, single attack, 25% chance of placing Provoke. Provoke is a solid crowd control. It means that basically the champion that you attack with this must hit Bloodbraid back and only use the A1. So it gives it an element of control. On the A2, attack a single enemy 3 times. 25% chance of granting an extra turn. Now I assume this 25% chance applies to each of the 3 hits. So that gives you a really solid chance of getting an extra turn after this. And you can book that up to 35% as well and get the cooldown to 3. On the A3, Life Curse, single attack, heals herself by 15% of the damage dealt, and also places the heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. So again, this could be pretty solid for the Fire Knight or the Spirit Keep. However, she does only have a single attack on the A1, so she's not really built for Fire Knight. When ascended, places the strong form of heal reduction and also heals herself by 30% of the damage dealt. So again, you want to try and build her up with a high crit rate, high crit damage to maximise the heal. Okay guys, 2 more. We might as well go all in. Here we go, 2 more. It's another rare. Anointed. Actually a really fantastic barbarian. I do have Anointed. He was again one of my sleeper rares. If you take a look at my 5 sleeper rare champions video. Really solid for the magic keep, really solid for Fire Knight. On the A1 we have the 3 times on 1 enemy, that's where the Fire Knight comes in. Small chance of placing freeze. On the A2, double attack, so again he's useful for Fire Knight. And this is where the magic keep bit comes in. Each hit has a 75% chance of stealing one buff from the target. So when you steal the buff, you actually take that buff yourself. So in the magic keep, Anointed kind of excels because he's got a really good chance. You can book it up to 90% of taking the shield off the magic keep guardian and placing it on himself. So not only does he remove the shield, he gives himself a massive shield as well. And then we have an A3 locked under Ascension level 3. Now this is really nice actually. This is where he comes in as a support champion. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 25%. That's pretty significant. And then places a 30% increased crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns. And you can get that down to a 4 turn. The increased crit rate is a bit meh if you're mid-game. Early game it's useful. But the filling of the turn meter on all allies by 25 is really solid. Okay then guys, so my last shard. Can I do it with the last one? I have to say I'm happy with Luria, I'm happy with Grizzled Jarl. I got no complaints there, but is this my Foley? Is this my Foley? No, it's not. It's a rare. But it's a lane. Remember what I said about Galek before? Whereby I already have Kale, I have Aethel, I've just pulled Galek, and now I've just pulled a lane. So now I have all 4 starter champions. So this is going to be really interesting actually. This is going to be a future video for me, I'm sure. On the A1, single attack places an extra hit if it's critical. That's pretty solid. On the A2, attacks one enemy, then attacks all enemies. Places the 30% increased crit rate buff on herself for 3 turns if she kills the target. When ascended, she also gets that 15% chance of inflicting the critical hit. So potentially you've got 45% crit rate there and only really need to build her up with 55. On the A3, attacks all enemies 2 times. This is really solid. This actually makes her probably the best arena nuker out of the 4 starters. It also makes her very viable for a stun set and use her in the dungeons to stun the waves. And again, the normal aura that you get on the starter champions, ally HP by 15% in all battles. Okay then guys, so that was my 18 ancient shards. It could have gone better. No, I don't want a power pack. It could have gone better, but it could have gone a whole lot worse. I did get one of the block revive champions in Luria. That's a pretty good offer. Another 15 ancient shards. Not going to be taking it though, guys, but that's actually not a bad offer at all. The silver's nothing. The ancient shards, they're $1 each. It also throws in 750 gems. So yeah, if you are going to throw $15, that's probably not a bad pack to do right now. Anyway, yeah, Luria for sure is the highlight there. Definitely going to be building her up. Looking forward to trying her out in the arena with the AoE freeze. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and make a comment down below. Let me know what you pulled in the 10 times summon shard event. Other than that, Mr. Missing in Action is over and out. Peace out guys, and I'll see you next time.